Right, watcher, welcome back. Chainmail at last. Now, I'm saying this for a little while. I want to include some chainmail on this. This being chainmail on the exhaust. What do you think, mate?
Cool.
Bondage, baby. Welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Okay, so those of you who know about chainmail know that the general size is 8mm. You normally need 8mm or less in the size of the hole, and originally chainmail was made as an armour for warriors, soldiers, whatever. Back when, you know, blades and stabbing weapons were what were used, and this is 12mm. The actual rings that it's made from are 12mm. And there's a couple of reasons that it's like, well, that is preferable in this instance, and that is that it looks better, more jumbo for the bike, and it takes less time to do. 8mm would take 4 times the size because you have to use 4 times as many rings. But looking close, actually have a looking close, it is real chainmail, properly made. Each one of the rings goes through 4 others in a circle, so it kind of makes a central one. It isn't easy to do, it takes a bit of a knack. You have to make one, then you put one between the two, and it is time consuming and fiddly. Now this is made with galvanized wire, just fencing wire. The principle apparently, I've never done it, but apparently the principle of the way you make it, you put a 12mm rod or drill bit in your drill, you connect it to it, and then you spin the drill and it spins the wire in, coils it around the drill bit, and then you get a coil of it, and you nip them off with a pair of side cutters, and it creates loads of these. Millions and millions of these. You just snip them off, and then you can bend them like that with pliers usually, and you link them together, and then you get the pliers and you bend them back, and then you carry on. So you can see, imagine how long that would take to make that piece there, which is for the main exhaust. Absolutely hours. So thanks, Tony, honestly mate, thank you so much. That is so heavy. That weighs
Brilliant.
I think that's got to be about 4 kilos, but it doesn't matter because honestly this old pig, the big fat general, it can take it. With a pillion on the back of this bike, you don't notice the way it rides. It actually rides a bit better with a pillion on the back because it kind of holds it all down. So it doesn't matter, the weight's not an issue. And what I'm going to do with it is bung it over here. It's going like this round the exhaust. I just fancy that. Actually, just thought, imagine the burn mark you'd get off that. Be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
I'm going to have to be careful.
Be like a tattoo, wouldn't it? Well, it doesn't get that hot, to be honest, because if you look in the vicinity here, you've got the plastic indicator, that doesn't melt. The luggage lives right here, so it doesn't get that hot. You know, when this is running on a hot day, you can kind of put your hand on it like that. It's not enough to cause too much of a problem, so it's going to be fine. What I've got to do first, though, is cut these lugs. Come in close, man, if you can. There was a heat shield somewhere on this. It had like a heat shield on it to protect it, but quite honestly I don't need that anymore because that's going to be in the way if I use this. So there's 3 metal lugs here, so the first job is get the disc and spin those off, grind them flat because I don't need them. So let's get stuck into that.
Ready?
You get a few granules then?
Yeah, I got hit.
Got a few. Actually, that's what we need to do now. Get the stone back on. Alright, what I'm doing, just typically I've asked this actually, so I thought I'd tell you, just if you're interested, you can do anything like this. I use a diamond disc for cutting steel, especially sheet, because the sheet's quite thin. This diamond disc is about 6 years old. I've never needed to replace it. It never fails to cut, and it's far more accurate, giving you a nice thin cut line than a stone disc, which kind of works by grinding away. This is a thick stone disc. It's kind of 4 or 5 mil thick, so it's a grinding disc for smoothing stuff down. The difference is really price. I think a standard stone disc, you get a packet of 6 for 10-15 pounds. That one alone was about 20 quid, but honestly, for the time it's lasted, it's probably cheaper, better value. And it doesn't make nearly as much mess. It's noisier, always noisier, because it's metal against metal. But don't use it if you're without goggles or anything, because the little tiny fragments, there's little diamonds impregnated in the edge of the disc. You're going to get dust coming out of that at a zillion miles an hour into your eyes and stuff, so obviously wear eye protection. There you go, lesson's over. Carry on making noise. Around this side though, if you can around this side of me, I'll just show you on this one. It kind of gets incredibly hot when, just watch, when you're grinding against it, you can see the orange, like the heat, just dancing in and out of the surface, because this is incredibly hard. It's been TIG welded on, stainless steel to stainless steel. You see how hard this is by the heat that it generates. There we are. We've been deliberating over whether to have this natural kind of silver, because it's zinc plated links, so they won't rust. Well, they shouldn't rust, except when they rub the zinc off, I guess, in the future, but dirty. It's going to get filthy dirty because of the weather, so don't know. We'll wait and see. What do you reckon?
Paint it black.
Paint it black. Paint it black. Paint it black. In doubt, paint it black. Right, I've got to make a gap first of all in it, where a gap where the bracket is, which is there. Now do. Okay, I've got to make a hole in it. Needs something to back it, doesn't it? I've got to make a hole in it to the exhaust bracket to hold the fan on. So I've got to take that section out, which is fun. Start with the middle one. Dropped it. What was it? There it is. Bracket hole needs to be about that big for it to fit in. Another one. Right, so we've got a suitable hole in, kind of oval, flat along the bottom, curved along the top. Should work with the bracket. It's very floppy. Floppy and heavy. Let's come around outside. Right, that's better. Right, bolt those on. Now this is just MIG wire, making up as we go along obviously. Just thinking to draw it in like a drawstring around the back, just to stop it sliding down. I'm drinking Penny P.
Yeah, showing off now.
Right, it's going to just grip that off there a minute. Just to hold it. It's temporarily. Right, so now I've got it started. Principle is to simply use them because there's too many, only by a little bit. They're just slightly overlapping. So the idea is to take them out and literally stitch my way down underneath, using it to stitch to itself rather than lock wire. I've got some MIG wire there that I use just to hold that end in, just to hold them in neatly. But I really would prefer if it's stitched to itself using rings, and it means taking these excess ones off, which like that it's ever so easy. Just grip them, bend them a bit and they lift off. Keeps your fingers. And then make good really. This is fiddly. It'll take some time. I'll drink pen.
Yeah.
How long do you reckon? Couple of hours?
Cup of tea time while
Cup of
you
tea,
carry
right.
on.
Oh, thanks. Cake as well, please.
We'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit. Right, got it worked out. I'm just removing a row at a time of the rings. Just coming along it. Taking a row off at a time to get the size correct underneath, so I can then stitch it back together by putting them back in. I don't want it squishy and too moving. So just one row at a time, just turning them back into bits of wire. Really painstaking, but it's good. Quite therapeutic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quiet work instead of grinding and cutting. It's quite nice. Still not sure whether to paint it. Don't know. Not sure. What do you think? All shouting at the screen. Don't paint it. Don't paint it.
I don't know whether to let the weather get to it.
Yeah.
Or whether
The weather
you
will
should
get to
dust
it.
it over with a little bit of black and
I
let the
think you'll
weather
end up
get
painting
to
it
it.
anyway, wouldn't you? The thing is with it is zinc as well.
It'll go brown.
Zinc gives off, when you heat zinc stays. Zinc's fencing wire, and it gives off fumes, so it's probably safer to just paint it, lock it in. Don't know, but it will certainly corrode because it's not stainless steel, so I don't want it looking rusty, don't know.
You carry on for a bit.
I've got time to think anyway, haven't I? Then they're doing this. It's like sewing mailbags. Right. Just a row at a time until the join is correct, and then just do them one at a time. I think this is the row that will work, and I can start stitching it back together. In the end, interestingly enough, these crappy little things have been the best pliers for the job. All the fancy vice grips and stuff in the world These are the best because they've got kind of a wide
Wad.
wow. They've got kind of a wad end on them, and they just grip it quite stably. Anyway,
Go on.
did you make that tea? Honestly, she's rubbish. I make the tea, will you?
You want more?
Yeah, always. Okay. Right, there we are. Pretty much done. Now I'm just going to run with this back edge. I've done it. I'm going to do the same with this one. Just run a line of MIG wire through all of them, just to form like a hem, if you like. Just get that blob off the end. Down there so one of the tyres can pick it up. Right, just to form like a solid end on it. Hold it all in. Absolutely chuffed with that. Okay, I had to take probably in the end 4 rows of it off to get it to roll under, all clip together. It's a bit messy under there where it actually joins because it's not perfect, correct bond, you know, over and under, but you can't, once it's under tension, it's quite hard to feed them through, so it's good enough. It's linked and it's tight. Whole thing is tight around the exhaust, it's not going anywhere. These are only pinched together, they're not welded or anything or soldered, so the tension will hold it all together, which then it will rattle about, which was the desired effect. Let's check this is all the extra rings I can use for later on. There's one, it's only maybe another piece as well. This section was for around the front part of the exhaust here, just around this front piece, and it may well go there. There's a bit close there, so I've got to split it so it goes around that and so on. Not sure, but that's for another day because we've run out of time now. So all I'm going to do now is get a little coat of paint on that so that it all blends in. I think painting it's better, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
I think so. Right, let's mask it up, get it painted. Now it's only going to be a flick over. Because of this whole dilemma of paint and what's satin and what's not and so on, honestly I'm painting so many extra little bits of paint here and there. I'm going to get the exact right paint at the end and do the whole bike when it's kind of done. But for the moment in time, use this. You got yours? Might as well do it properly, eh? And with this stuff goes satin as well, by the way, Alex, that goes satin. You have to kind of flick it on and dry flick it. The other stuff was completely matte, but this is a bit satiny. You just have to do it from a distance. kind of let it semi-dry on the way to the job. So it gets there a bit tacky and you get a nice matte finish. Probably didn't read the instructions, that's because they're all in Portuguese. I wouldn't have even read them if they were in English. Just a flick over.
Oh yeah, definitely better in black.
You reckon?
Yep.
Better. Imagine when the dirt gets on that and the kind of dirt and age, it's going to look great. Patina. Well, I think what we're going to do with this, once it's dry, I'm just going to scuff. I think what would look pretty cool is with a Scotch-Brite, just scuff off the surface so you sort of see the tops of the links, which would be better. Certainly better than leaving it bare metal. Who knows? Actually, the weather will probably do that, won't it?
Looks well cool.
Batter it off. Yeah, right, there we are. What do you reckon, Pim?
I think that's great.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yep.
A bit different. I did think it would come out okay, and I can't believe it. I mean, Tony, I know you're watching, mate. Thank you so much for that. That is exactly what I wanted. Large jumbo chainmail, really looks the part. Rat bikes are all about texture. That's the point. It's about making something that the factory doesn't do it, especially in this day and age of dark custom from Harley and just about every one of the Triumph off-road bikes. All of the Tigers, they have a little tiny bit of paint on the tank and the rest is all matte black. So matte black is a thing now, it's a factory thing. So doing it, you've got to go a little bit further. If you want to make a rat bike, you've got to work a bit harder at it, and I think this is the kind of stuff. So there we are, thanks Tony, really, really appreciate it. It's not all going to be rat bikes, is it, Ben?
No.
Got some other stuff, we've ordered some Farkles for the Bonneville and the Scrambler, so we've got some cool stuff coming. Finally going to be getting rid of the indicators. What we're waiting for is some adapter harnesses. They're being designed and made by Motown. We're going to bring that to you shortly. They're designing an adapter system so you can buy an aftermarket indicator or their own indicators, or for your Scrambler or your Bonneville, and you can literally plug them in. One of the biggest fears and concerns with fitting aftermarket lights is chopping up your factory loom and risking the problems that come with that. If you can just plug a light in from adapter harness, that's what it's all about. Motown have developed them. They're literally being made as we speak, and they'll be with us shortly. So in the next week or so, we'll have some really cool stuff for you. Taking those dreaded, hideous plastic Fisher-Price backlights finally off the two bikes and putting something on that's a lot cooler. You're looking forward to that, aren't you?
Yep, I am.
Could be quite cool. It really finishes the bike as well. We've been leaving them and doing everything else, and they now stand out so much. It's absolutely ridiculous. So there we go. That's it for now. I'm going to do the front little bit next time, so I haven't got time. I want to get this up Sunday night. I think we need a bit of a Sunday night, don't we?
I think so.
Yeah? Fancy perhaps go out for a drink somewhere? I reckon so. There we go. I'll take her out for a drink. She deserves it. Standing in a garage full of paint fumes. Take it easy, ride safe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.